They say I'm a tsotsi, so they call me Tsotsiana. Right now it's 5:30, soon to be 1:45 acha. Hot like your mama. Recording the song in a dance scene. I wrote these bars while I was in class. They call me the finest Mabena, cause I am the finest Mabena. I got more drip than the pump in the back of your house.
Yeah. I've got this feeling that I get.
It has genuinely been a hot minute, but I'm back with a story time for you. So welcome back to the life of Sky with Ntsei-Sky. So glad that you're tonight, aka Petty Cash, Petty Money, Petty Cash. And tonight I'm about to tell you guys a little bedtime story about how, like, Nikki Wheeler, hey, like the time in my life where I was just Will I am. I don't know what year it is, but I know I'm in grade 8. I was at some school that doesn't exist anymore. That's a story for another time. I was there. I wasn't like let me not lie. I wasn't like that kid that caused like, I didn't do big things, guys, like that would have me expelled. Petty crimes. So I was at the school and I used to pull pranks on my friends. I used to hang out with boys a lot, and it wasn't allowed in that school, and most of my friends were boys then. Like, it was just the whole shebang. Everything that was wrong, I was just doing it. So at some point, like, I got a record on my school report thing saying that I was drawing like dicks at school, and then they called my parents, telling my parents that, yo, your child is here, she's drawing penises here at school, all those kind of things. Like, it was just a mess. So I feel like they just couldn't tame me. They couldn't handle a bad bitch like me. So I used to do like little things that built up and got me into trouble. So there was this one lady, this one teacher, she was like the deputy or whatever. She didn't like me, but there was this one day, the first time I got kicked out of school. She came that day. It was like the second last period. She called me out. She's like squeezing my shoulder, she's smiling in my face, and I'm like, no, your dad is here. You can just pack your things and you can actually like leave. School's done for you now. And like on a normal day I'd be like, oh yay, I'm going home. But now I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, it's 22. So I get back to class and I'm obviously packing my bags. My friends are like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, I also don't know. I get to the car, all my things from hostel are packed. My dad's on the phone, he's fuming. So now I'm just like, is anybody gonna tell me what's happening? You know what I mean? They basically gave me a don't come back. This was like in the 3rd term of like grade 8. And then I was not in school for a good 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. I wasn't in school. I just used to watch people go to school. I was just sitting at home. I even took my hostel snacks. I was chowing them at home. I was a dropout. Sharp. At some point we had like this family friend of ours who was, I think then she was the MEC or something like that, but she was working some prestigious like position there in the Department of Education. So my parents obviously were just asking her, because they were telling her my situation, like, this is our child and this is what's happening to her. And that lady looked at my report and she was like, the girl is performing. Guys, one thing you need to get straight, you need to learn about me, is that I wasn't like struggling in school. I was always like a good performing student. 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. That was me. So I was a troublesome kid, but like I was passing. That's all that matters. So then like the department, they called my principal. I forgot what discussion they had. 1, 2, 3, that child needs to come back to school by the end of tomorrow, and there's going to be some sort of inspector to go suss the situation if I'm back in school. So obviously rolled back into that school like, a bitch is back. Y'all thought you could get rid of me, but here I am in the flesh. And all those teachers were there like, oh, Ntsei, you're back, we've missed you so much. I'm like, you're lying, you're a liar, a pathetically liar. I know that I make your skin crawl. Not you're gonna tell me that you miss me after you kick me out. Am I dumb? So Sharp obviously got there like, bitch. It hurts, doesn't it? Dingo God's favorite child, mna. So obviously I got back to school after like 3 weeks. Sharp, I was obviously like still getting up to like nonsense. I used to do like crazy things. I remember this one friend of mine, she just moved into hostel, so she doesn't know like hostel culture, if I could put it like that. So she was sleeping in the afternoon, and then I was like, no dude, let's like take her out while she's sleeping on her mattress and put the mattress outside the hostel. So then me and my friends carried that mattress and we put it outside the hostel. Whoever was walking could just see her lying there outside like sleeping. So I think after a couple of minutes it clicked that, baby girl, you're outside. So obviously she came in, she was fuming, she went in, she complained to the teachers. So I used to do those kind of things, like, you know, pranking my friends and, you know, just caught at the wrong places at the wrong time. The holidays that were going to lead to the 4th term, and then they sent my parents an email saying that I shouldn't come back. They already called the department, it's a done deal, it's a deuce, she shouldn't come back. So now my parents are like, baby, it's the 4th term, it's exams, where the fuck are you gonna go? What's gonna cut now? So obviously my parents had to start hunting for schools. They were applying everywhere, Noorderland, Capricorn, Tom Nadir, like Hoërskool, Petersburg, like everywhere. They went everywhere, but obviously no school wants to take a little troublesome child like me. So then I got accepted by some school. It was called Happy Day Combined in Ramashashane. It was like low-key like the Boons. It was definitely the Boons. I was really not familiar with that kind of environment. It was scary. So yeah, like that was the only school that could take me, and it was like an independent school. So I'm thinking, independent, bougie lifestyle. I get there and it's just like, ratatata, I'm scared. I get there on the first day and my parents like, it's so far away because I stay like right inside PLK and this place is like far out. So my parents couldn't afford to take me there every single day, so I had to start taking a bus. And bear in mind, I used to via coaches. So this bus is not coaches, it's just Bahwaduba bus, green and yellow bus, like vroom vroom mechanical bus, not buses with curtains and plush seats and air conditioning. No, just mechanical bus from point A to point B. We wore turquoise. Then obviously it's the first day of school and my parents did take me that day, and then we get there into the office. I'm sitting around, I thought it was a classroom, and then they assign some girl that is so forward, that is so popping, to just orientate me around the school. So now I'm just like, I'm scared, but I'm like, you know what, I have to pass because the 4th term I can't afford to fail because I'm scared of failing. So she comes there, she's like, oh, you're the new girl, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot what her name is, I don't even know what her name is. She's like, oh yeah, you're the new girl, and I'm like, yeah. She bambered me by the arm. She's like, let me take you to your class. So let me tell you guys something. Nah, I've been through a lot of schools. I've changed schools a lot of times in my lifetime. I've changed schools, like I've changed from one school to another like 9 times. So I'm pretty familiar with what it's like to be a new girl, but that experience was just something else because I've never been to a school that was considered ratatata. Like there were a lot of people there in their 20s, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Like that was the theme there. So sharp, she takes me, we're walking to the class, and obviously like people are like, oh hey, you know, like when you're new, if you're new, you know, like you walk into your class and they're like, oh hey, it's ban, who are you walking with? No, come over here, no, come with your friend. And just kind of like, and then you get there, it's like, oh hey, what's your name? No, my name's Ntsei. What? It's like now you have to like teach people how to pronounce your name. It's just a lot of admin. So we get to my class. I'm obviously taking out my school, my workbooks, because by the time the teacher comes here I have to really like tell them what it is that I know and what it is they're learning, because there was some stuff that I did that they didn't come across the whole year, and then there was some stuff that they did that it's not even in the syllabus that I was doing. So that's the one tricky thing about changing schools a lot, is that I would go to schools with different types of syllabuses, so it was very hard for me to catch up at times. So I'm obviously there, and that girl that was orientating me, she came with her very popping friends also. They were also like sitting around me, like I'm sitting here and it's just like so then, and this was one girl who was, she wasn't even saying anything. Like, they were the friends that were asking me questions, but then the one friend was just here, like she wasn't even asking questions, she was just. So then at some point she's like, oh my gosh, you have such a nice, like your skin is so nice, and then she touched my face. Corey, I am frustrated. I am frustrated. We went to the math class. Obviously the teacher that was talking to me was like, oh, where were you schooling? I was like, no, the school was based in Zanin. So, and then the girl that was orientating me, because she's someone that rated herself as my friend, so I was like, no, the school's in Zanin. And then she's like, Zanin. Then the whole class just starts laughing. I'm just like, can somebody share the joke? Like I was just so, and people were genuinely dying. I'm just like, I'm failing. I'm like Silimo now. Like, I was just like, what's happening? So sharp. Like, I don't care, like if I'm new, if I'm old, if you try two-step, I'm really going to address it straight up. Confrontational goes worldwide. That's just like how I am. Not in a snacks way, of course, but like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like something's not bugging me. So then after class I go to her like, care to explain? What was that about? Then she was like, oh yeah, like why do you say it like that? I'm just like, what's the name? She's like, yeah, like why do you have to say it like that? And I'm just like, what's the correct way to pronounce it? She's like, no, Kezanini. And I'm just like, then people started spreading rumors about me in that school that I was from Cuba. I don't know. I didn't even know that this rumor was a thing until, you know, like that week before like exam time, where you guys are just chilling like in the class. You're either studying, you're either chilling. And plus, like in that school, when you walked into a classroom, you had to go to the next class to find a chair so you could sit in the other class. Like there's really like scarcity of like resources. Sometimes you had to carry a whole table to the next class. That's how it was. So sharp, these girls walk in, and I think it's like those, you know, those girls, those grade 12 girls, like those senior girls. And then the boss of that group, I think she had come back after, like, she was away when I came to the school, so people obviously told her that, oh, there's a new girl here, there's a new girl. And then she walks up to me squad deep with her girls, her and her home girls, because the home girls were upset, clearly. So then obviously I'm just looking out the window. I don't even know why I'm looking out the window. So then she comes to me, she's like, oh yeah, you're the new girl. She don't, no hi, no hello, nothing. She's like, oh, you're the new girl, nah. And I'm just like, yeah, what's it to ya? Then she's like, oh, okay, no, I'm Ban. I didn't ask her, don't care. I'm like Silimo now, just sharing information I didn't ask for. So she's like, yeah, sharp, or like where you from, like where do you, she was asking me where I stay, like all these like personal particulars. Then she's like, oh, you're that girl from Cuba, ne? And I'm like, what? Hold up, wait a minute, it's a chopper. Cuba? I'm like, no dog, I'm from PLK, like right in town, like what do you mean? She's like, no, like people have just been telling me that like Ocha Cuba. And I'm just like, do y'all even know? If I'm to produce the map, will you point it out? Because I think you got the wrong house. And then she's like, oh, okay, sharp. Or then, you know, she just gives that attitude. And then she said the most bizarre thing. She's like, yeah, you mustn't take our men. I just froze. I'm barely a month into the school. Like, Akeda, even I'm trying to pass. Like the weeks coming, I think this guy saw me and my friend like dancing or whatever, or we were talking about dancing, and that guy was like, oh yeah, no, I also dance, like actually, like I'm a Skothanes. It was at that moment that I knew I had to become a Skothanes. The time is now. Black child, this is your chance. I just felt like I have to become a Skothanes. At some point I was so interested in being a Skothanes, guys. It's actually it's embarrassing. I was actually dead ass, hey. I would ask that guy like, oh, can you become a Skothanes if you're a Han? He was like, no, in most cases like Han Skothanes are dating Skothanes, so they never like a Skothanes like solely like on their own. It's just by association. And then he was teaching me those things, guys. Zaga, Zege. He was teaching me all of that. So best believe when I bust that move, I'm busting the original thing. So yeah, I wanted to be a Skothanes, an individual one, a stark one. So then he's like, no, when we go to the Skothanes events, like all you do, like all the Hans do is twerk. And I was just kind of like, at some point I even asked my mom about Skothanes, like what does she think about Skothanes culture, like all those things, and she was not giving me the responses that I wanted to hear. Hey, like, but I was already like in that mindset that I'm just going to do this thing Scott so hard. I was gonna be that girl. I didn't become a Skothanes. I kept it moving. Then I met this guy, nah, that I actually liked, and we liked each other. So he was like someone that was like pretty cool. We got along really well. Yeah, we started seeing each other. But he had this very funny friend. Like he called himself Rojigo or something like that. And he was very like, I don't know, he used to talk funny. Like, and he used to wear this like wooden rosary. Oh, he used to say some outlandish things, like things that just have you so perplexed. So I remember this was one day I got to school, he was carrying a packet of Doritos, and I was hungry. I was like, away, open that packet of Mazimbas, let's kill. Then he's like, no, we can't open these things. I'm just like, why? School hasn't even started. Why can we not open it? Why can't we open the chips and eat it? I'm hungry, I'm famished. He's like, oh no, we're going to bury like this packet of chips. I'm just like, what? He's like, yeah, you can come with us if you want. We're staying away from the evil vibes, you know, it's the Illuminati. I'm like, wait, but in Genap, he like the Doritos and the cult and the negative energies. And then he was just like, it's the Doritos, the triangle. All my strength left my body. I was not even hungry anymore. I just couldn't fathom what this guy was telling me so early in the morning when he be telling me about Ilu. Or like, why does he keep thinking about this negative energy? But like this guy, we started talking, we started getting along. This guy that I liked. Then we started hanging out and all those other kind of stuff. Then I had this friend in my class who was friends with the guy that I liked. Then after school, I was chilling with this classmate of mine. He's like, oh, I see you like this guy. And I'm like, yeah, he's pretty cool, like I don't mind him. Then he's like, oh yeah, do you know how old he is? And I'm like, no. I have asked him, but he never actually gave me a straight answer, and I don't know why. I just mised that, like I just let it slide. But I was like, no, I actually don't know. Like, why? He's like, oh yeah, no, he's about to turn like 19, 20 this year. And I was just like, I'm 14. I was so confusion. And that guy, like, I don't know why, I just kept letting things slide. So then after that, he's like, I went and I asked that guy, I'm like, why didn't you tell me that you're 19, 20? He's like, no, it's not that deep. Plus, who told you that? Like, you know what I mean? He just diverts the chat. And I was just like, yeah, actually, let me just let it go. Like, I don't know why I just didn't press on it. And the thing is that this guy that I like, he never used to tell me like these dark things about himself. I'd always find it out from the friend. So then he's like, you know, my classmate was like, oh yeah, you know your nigga's like in a gang, right? I'm like, what? He's in a gang? He used to tell me some other tea about like this guy that I liked before I came to the school. He was like, no, this guy that you like, he used to be in a hostel, but he got kicked out of a hostel because sometime, like this time at night, in the middle of the night, where he was fighting with some other guy in the hostel. They had like a whole blown on fight, and then your guy chipped off that other guy's ear. And I was like, what? That's insane. But I don't even know why I was shocked, because there was a time I was chilling in a classroom during break and I saw this guy beating some guy at school. He was beating him during break with a belt, like a punishment type of a beating, and no one did anything. But I think it's because he was like one of those people that you weren't gonna beat if you're in that school. Like, you just were not gonna play that, because he just used to beat hands, beat guys. Like, he was beating everyone. And then they both got expelled from hostel. So then that guy who's with the chipped ear, he went and he told people from the surrounding neighborhoods and places that if you see this guy, you guys must beat him, you guys must finish him off. So I was like, that makes sense. There was one Friday, we were in the bus, and the bus stopped in town, and every single time the bus stops in town, he would like change where he's seated. He would sit next to me. Then when we get in town, he'd probably sit like in the chair in front of me, or the one in front of me, or the one like the seat behind me. So like, you'd always do that. So he's like, yeah, he probably does that because he doesn't want people to know that he's seeing you, because if they see you, they might just come for you. My mind was blown. It was blown away, my love. It was boom, smithereens, matakalas. So yeah, and those girls that were telling me to stay away from their men, like, I feel like they also used to stalk me, because everywhere where I sat in that bus, they would sit next to me, and every time I sat with that guy, they'd always like say these other comments like yo, yeah, nah, like they would have these sideways comments, and I just felt like turning like, why you mad? Is it because my pussy pops severely and yours don't? That's what he does a lot. Then there was one Friday where he got off the bus and he never texted me ever since that day. I texted him around like 2 o'clock. You know, when school was still school. School on Friday came out at 1, and I texted him at 2 like, yo, are you home? He replied from 11. He's like, and he doesn't explain anything. He's like, yeah, I'm cool. You, how you finna be gone from 2 and you're gonna reply around 11, just be like, yeah, cool. Then his friend on Monday was like, no, that guy, when he got off the bus, they were chasing him. Like, those guys found him. The guy with the chipped ear found him. They found him. They started like running after him in town. He had to like hop onto some random ass taxi. He didn't even know where that taxi was going. He hopped on. He told that guy to take him anywhere that's not here. Like, since he had like such a long day. I'm like, this he's alive. What is it, man? Like, I'm just too bougie. I'm just too bouge for that lifestyle. My life was just a baller. So then I used to walk home. Bear in mind, this bus used to drop me off at Flora Park High. It's a place, a school that's not far from where I stay. It used to drop me off at Flora Park High. I used to walk in that turquoise uniform to my house. Obviously, I'm bumping into people that I know, like, Ntsei. I'm just like, hi. They were like, hey, where are you schooling? I'm just like, ratatata, please don't ask me questions. I'm not available for comment, you know. Because my naked way, like, guys, I was where I am, you know. Kore, it was very embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. Having to walk home from there every single day was just a drag. And there was times I'd bump into my friends and they were like in Capricorn, and it's just like, dude, what is she doing in that turquoise uniform? Yeah, guys, then it came to a time around exam time where there's this other girl. She was shorter than me. I used to hang out with her every day, along with the one friend that I made. And then I heard that she was spreading rumors about me, and these rumors, like, I used to mice them, then these rumors started becoming more and more severe. So then one day she walked into this classroom where I was at with the other friend of mine, and in this class is like, you know, grade 11s, grade 12s, grade 9s, but you know, these grade 11, 12, 9s, they're like 20, 22, 20. So it's like people that are not even my peers. So, well, some of them are. She walks in, I obviously go to the door and I meet her at the door and I confront her like, bitch. Like, I've heard you've been saying 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. She's been talking about me and this guy that I like, and she's spreading some twisted rumors. Like, she's those people that would take things that you say and put them out of context, because you know that thing, like, you're the new girl, and then they're gonna ask the people that you're hanging out with, like, oh, how's that new girl, how is she like, she looks like she's 1 2 3 4 5, you know what I mean? So I think when she talks to those people, that's when she would say like those twisted things, and then she comes and she hangs out with me, and then she acts like a whole like normal human being. So then I asked the about 1 2 3 4 and 5. She was like, no, it's not even like that. You know when you know the whole truth, and then someone has this bindi to come and just be a layer, a sedimentary layer, and not tell the truth. That's another thing that was making me so upset, and I was starting to boil at that point, because this hand thinks I'm stupid. I just started her washing, and I pinned her against the chalkboard. Like, if you do not stop with the lies, it can just be on site, tbh. I don't even care at that point if I was new or not, because if you cross me, you cross me. I don't even care. I don't know none of y'all. You know? So yeah, I started like holding her up against the wall, and obviously my knuckles were pressing against her neck, so she started looking a little tricky. She started talking a little tricky and sounding a little tricky. So then I saw that, hey dude, if this thing goes on long enough, I might just get in trouble, and I can't afford to get in trouble, because in most cases when I go to a lot of schools, I go to schools under special circumstantia, so I can't afford to be getting in trouble, because they can just kick me out. She left, and I cut her off, because you're not gonna try be my friend and then act like that, and you think it's not about to be on site. But I don't fight anymore, guys. I'm not a fighting hand. It was just that one incident where I had to just bamba hekari washing 2 minutes nyana, you know, shuku sheka haya shumeka. I managed to pass grade 8 by the grace of God, and after that I applied, and then I got into Capricorn. And that's a story for another time, but I just thought I should share this story time with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'm trying to reach 10k by the end of the year, so I'm gonna need you. Look at me. I'm going to need you guys to do me a favor and subscribe.